this going. Let us do this. Solo layout. All right. Still don't know it all just yet. It's gonna be a minute. It's all good. It's all good. Let's talk ball. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Breakdown. Getting into this. Can we do it? Yeah, here we go. Perfect. Let's get in there. Let's get it in. All right, I'll load up. And yeah, man, let's get into this real quick. We've got a little bit of time before the games start. I can make a run on this model. And let's see what's popping off, man. Let's see what's popping off. Games are going to start here 7 p.m. Eastern time, so we've got about 40 minutes. If you haven't looked at the earlier picks, make sure you do so, but I'll go over them now. Also, make sure you like and subscribe here. I guess I got to start plugging that also. Make sure you have your adult beverage. Today, I just got some hard cider. Nothing big. Okay. So we're looking at the slate for today, Tuesday, May the 4th be with you. And there are some opportunities here. And we can look at this card. To a lot of people on, I guess, face value, really, there's nothing really entertaining about this card at all. A lot of these games you probably would just go past. Unless you're a big fan of Phoenix, then you're probably not going to watch Foe in Cleveland. If you're not a fan of Detroit, and now that Charlotte has all of their players out just about, you're probably not interested in that game. The same would go with Sacramento and OKC. I mean, who cares? So in any regard, there is some value out there. Wasn't that much movement, and that's a good thing. So we'll get into these games. Huge risks here because I'm looking at games and I'm going against this model. So it'd be interesting to see how tonight ends up. First game, Phoenix Suns at Cleveland Cavaliers. This game to me, man, is just a blowout. It is a complete blowout. I don't care what the number is. This game was probably put this way because when you have all your numbers come back, man, and you just see that no matter what numbers you put in, this is a blowout. That's what it is. I'm not even afraid of a backdoor cover because that's just not how Phoenix plays. Phoenix is going to put their foot down tonight. They're going to slap the shit out of Cleveland, and they're going to do it handily. And it's really this is a team that's just going to be made an example of. So Cleveland has a whole bunch of issues within that locker room. You don't like stuff to get out of the locker room, and it was evident that they have problems with Colin Sexton. And this is what you don't want, especially to end the season. So there's got to be some moves by JB. I don't know what Bickerstaff is going to have to do, but there's going to have to be some things done to get this team right. Anderson Varejao has signed a 10-day contract. He's not playing today, but it just doesn't matter. At this point, this team is in complete collapse. So if you want to do a test, if you want to weight how organizations handle themselves, look at the Suns organization and how well they're playing and watch how they play today, and then look how bad Cleveland is. There's absolutely nothing going on with Cleveland. Now, I do say this. You have to pay attention because sports betting is legalized for the most part. The books will work hand in hand with the league. That's just how they do. So believe you me, The league, the players, the teams, they all know these spreads, okay? So this is a game where I would see to where you have your casual fan look at the number, or a casual bettor look at the number, and he looks at that 12 and a half, 13. He's like, whoa, that's way too much. But he'll look at that first quarter, or they'll look at that first quarter, and they're like, wait a minute, maybe that's the play. First quarter, first half is the play because the spread isn't too high, right? And so I think you're going to see a lot of money come in on the first quarter and first half. Why? Because that was the first thing I thought about when I watched this game and started capping it. I just think that you can have a lot of money come in on those two scenarios, your first quarter spread and your first half spread, and then not as much money coming on a full game. And you can have Cleveland cover the first two and then just get smacked second half. And that's what it just looks like to me if I'm going to wear my tinfoil hat. So on this one here, I'm not really afraid of the number, y'all. I'm not afraid of that 13 at all. I think this is one of these games to where I honestly don't believe Cleveland gets the century mark. So I don't think they can hit 100 points, honestly. So if I were looking, I've already made my play. This is an official play. Phoenix Suns full game, minus 12.5, minus 13. Now, if you've been with me, I've got it at minus 13. If you've been with me, you know Phoenix is a stay-away team for me. This is my kryptonite. But I'm going back to the well on this. So Phoenix, minus 13. Next game, Charlotte Hornets at Detroit Pistons. This is just a complete mess. The line went from plus 6.5 Detroit all the way to plus 3.5. Once the lineups come down, as we know, they are literally playing no one. Neither is Detroit. I mean, let's look at their injury report right now. This is the 5:30 injury report. So this is just insane. Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges out, health and safety protocols. Devontae Graham still out hurt. Gordon Hayward out. Cody Martin out. PJ Washington out, personal reasons. Yo, they're playing Detroit, and they're just outright telling you they do not care. And believe you me, Charlotte's in a position where they still have to win games. You know, they can't afford to lose any games because of where they at. I mean, right now they stand in 8th place, 31 and 33. You want to make up ground to Boston, who's in 7th, 34 and 31. So you're just not going to just lay down and lose games. As a matter of fact, I mean, Pacers and Washington is right on their tail, right? So if anything, you want to try to gain steam. You don't want to try to lose ground. So when I look at this game, the model has this game as Detroit Pistons, 2.7. I highly doubt that. I don't care what the lineup is here. I honestly believe that this is still a smash spot for Charlotte. Why? Because Detroit has literally no one. The people you want to back for Detroit isn't back. I get scared when I hear the names Josh Jackson, Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee. But, man, these guys are out. They have literally no one. So I have not gotten to the one on this. Martini Mark, you were right. This is a stay-away game if this is the one you're talking about. I haven't gotten there, and so I probably won't. But my lean is definitely Charlotte Hornets. I think they get it done, bro. I think they get it done handily. You're just missing everybody and their mom is not playing for Detroit Pistons. So it is a stay-away game for me, but I would do a heavy lean to the Charlotte Hornets. Next game, I've got Brooklyn Nets at Milwaukee Bucks. Now, I was all over the place with this game, man. This is crazy. The model has this game, the Bucks winning outright by 5.5 points. And I started to agree with the model. When I looked at this game in the beginning, I started to agree. I was like, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, the Bucks handed Brooklyn their ass, right? They played a great offensive game. But then after you start talking to other people who start looking at the game with a more broader lens, you can kind of put some things together. And this is what I liked about some of the things with Brooklyn. First off, they lost the game by a three-pointer. They lost by the hook. This game by no means was easy for Milwaukee. And there was still no answer for KD. Now, the thing is if we're talking about the regression law, the freak put up 49 points, man. Is he going to do that again? Right? If that's the case, we saw Jason Tatum go off where he had primetime Tatum points against the Spurs. He put up 60 for an amazing comeback of the year, wins by 3. Next game, not so much. You saw the same thing with Kevin Porter Jr., where he went off and put up a 50 burger. Next game, I think he put up like 16. So if we're looking at this regression law, then maybe that does apply to Giannis, and Giannis is not going to get off for another 50-point game. Secondly, I don't think they're going to let this man shoot 8 3-point shots. So there's a lot being said there. So as it looks now, man, I'm on Brooklyn. I was on them when they lost the game. I said, listen, if Brooklyn loses this game, I'm smacking them. I don't care what the number is. I kind of got away from that, leaning too much into the model, but I see now the money's come back in on Brooklyn. So this looks like a get-right game for Brooklyn. Again, standings-wise, guys, standings-wise, Brooklyn's in second at 43-22. Milwaukee is 40-24. Philly is 44-21. That number one spot is legit. Like, fellas are really trying to get there, man. So this game would mean a lot for Brooklyn to get back up and not lose that much ground with Philly. We got about 2 weeks left, so we got to see what's going on here. So my look on this is Brooklyn. I'm going with my gut on this play. I'm against the model on both plays as it stands right now. I do like Brooklyn in this spot here. The next game is Dallas Mavericks at Miami Heat. The line says Miami Heat minus 3.24. That is a sharp line, and I can see there really hasn't been much movement on that game. So when you see that happen, that's really a lot of the sharps in agreement. The line may say, hey, go to 4 or something, but then it goes right back to 3.5. So you don't see that much movement on this game. Maybe a lot of people don't really care to play it. I have seen people on Dallas right now. If I were to look at this game, I think Dallas is the better team still, even though they got mopped. I still think they're the better team than Miami. Miami's just got way too many problems, man. You got Kendrick Nunn playing now. You got Tyler Hero out. I mean, you talk about a guy's stock literally falling, tanking overnight. That's happening with Tyler Hero. So Miami is going to get up. I mean, this is the defending Eastern Conference Finals champion. So take for whatever it's worth, I don't think this is going to be a game to where it's just going to be some huge lead. I believe these teams will just trade blows back to back. So I don't have a play on this game. The model is calling the Heat to win this game exactly by the number that is on the spread. So if you like the Heat, the model likes the Heat. I personally don't like the Heat. I would go with Dallas. Next game is Golden State at New Orleans Pelicans. The last time they played before yesterday was February 23rd of last year. Now, that was very interesting because I looked at this game, and the first thing I said to myself was, I don't have a sample size of this year to go by. But if these guys haven't played Steph, I don't know how you prepare for that. You got to be able to prepare yourself for Steph because this guy creates his own shot anywhere on the court. And that is exactly what happened. I had looked at some analysis and some data on this where they predict the game in real time, like who's going to win, like a real-time win analysis or win percentage. And man, every second that went by, this stat just kept going down. This line kept going down for New Orleans. It recouped a little bit, and then it's like GameStop, bro. That once it went down, it just went down. That just tells me that there's no answer for Steph. They don't really care about Zion. I've said this ad nauseum. You can let Zion have 50 points, and that team will still lose. That's just how they're built, man. Zion is going to go off. There isn't an answer for Zion. You could try to slow him down, but he's still not making free throws. He's still getting to the basket at will. So just like there's no answer for Zion on the defensive side of Golden State, if you will, there's no answer for Steph on the defensive side of New Orleans. And so if I'm counting baskets, 3 are a lot more than 2. So in the long run, those baskets are going to separate themselves with eventually Golden State being on top. I didn't see the angle here. I see money's come back in on Zion, maybe because Dre is out and Dre gave you 15 assists last game. So maybe Dre is worth a hook. That's a lot considering that he doesn't score, but that also tells you what he means in other positions. Sometimes you hear that old cliche, stats that don't show up on the stat book. That matters. He did a lot to contain Zion, but Zion still went over 30, still lost. So I don't really care. So I like Golden State plus 1.5. I took that already. That is a good spot. I'm with it. Next game, OKC is playing against Sacramento. Sacramento is 5.5 favorites. Model has this game. OKC winning 2.67. I highly disagree. I just disagree with this fucking model. There's no way you could tell me that OKC is going to win this game unless Sacramento's just sitting everybody. I mean, I just don't get it. I still like Hill. I know Barnes isn't getting up for this game. If we look at other people involved, I mean, you've got Barnes doubtful. You haven't had Fox there. You haven't had Tyrese Halliburton. Chimizi Metu is questionable. And then Robert Woodard. So OKC, for what it's worth, they have Lou Dort, but they still don't have any SGA. You know, I've always liked Baisley, and I do like that Pokasevsky guy. I mean, he can't shoot threes for, I believe he's a rookie, man. So he's starting to come into his own. All in all, you've heard the word tanking being, you know, affiliated with this team. I really can't look for tanking, but if it's evident, it's definitely with OKC. So there's some issues there. There's some issues. It's a bad team playing against another bad team where all these guys want to do is just finish out the year. That's all they want to do. So why would you invest your coin on two teams, man, that don't really give two shits about playing? They don't. What are they playing for? They're not even in a position to disrupt another team, right? So if you're just betting just for the betting aspect of it, that's fine. But there's just no investment, you know, that I see that's substantial enough for me to even put any type of money down. I don't see it. So I'm definitely off for this game. Next game and the last game is Toronto at the Clippers. I looked at this game. Model has us as Clippers almost 7 points. It says they aren't covering, but I just believe this is a Clippers smash spot for real. We're looking at so many angles with this. But I did realize how great of a defensive squad Clippers are. Even without Pat Bev, they are efficient on defense, and they actually do a lot in pace and points per possession. They're in the top 5. So they are efficient. I believe that's a lot of Paul George in the makings there. And I believe that this team can get done. They could get 10 points on it even without Kawhi playing. Kawhi is going to play today, but even if he didn't play for whatever reason, I just think this is a Clippers blowout. There's no OG Anunoby, who I think is pretty much the dog for that team. That's a big guy, man. I like him a lot. But just looking at this game altogether, no Chris Boucher, Gary Trent Jr. is doubtful, so that's your heavy hitter right there. Paul Watson's out, so you got Kyle, you got Van Vliet. That's just not enough to get it done. You're not just going to be able to contain Paul George. You're still going to have Zubac, who's going to have a pretty good game here. So in this case, I love the Clippers here. I already took them at -9.5. That line is still starting to steam up. I believe it's -10. Tay, you say you like the Kings tonight. You think they're 3 buckets better than OKC. I mean, what team isn't better than OKC? You're damn right. You're right. I just wouldn't put any coin anywhere to where you don't have any teams that are motivated to play for anything at all. So the Kings should naturally put up a $130. You know, you see what the Pacers did to OKC. So what this team is, I have no idea. I don't know what their identity is. I don't know what their motivation is. Really, if I were on this team, my motivation would be to hurry up and get this damn season over with. In this spot, I could see how people would take Sacramento. The money shows that. Started off at Sacramento +4.5, or excuse me, Sacramento -4.5, and now it is Sacramento -5.5. That's a lot of money to make it move. So if you like the Kings, I wouldn't talk you anywhere near off that. I would go with that level as well. But it's just, with me, I don't see any advantage in putting my money there. So those are the plays, man. I like Phoenix, regardless of the number. I do like Charlotte, even though I didn't get there. I like Brooklyn to win tonight as a revenge game, as a bounce-back game. I also like Golden State heavy here, even though the money is starting to come in on New Orleans. So we'll see what happens with that injury report, if there's anything late happening. As of right now, you have Dre that's questionable, but you've already had Damian out. Eric Pascal is out. Kelly Oubre's been out. Well, I think Oubre, let's see. Let me check it out. Tsunami Poppy played last game. I think he put up some pretty decent numbers, too. No, he did. Yes. That's Wiggins who put up 26. Yeah, so in this spot here, Golden State New Orleans had no answer. We're already talking about those guys not playing defense, right? So yeah, they're not going to play defense again. Steph creates his own shot anywhere off the court, right? So you can't bring Zion on him. He's going to be inside. Who plays Steph Curry? And that's why Steph had the game he had. So in this case here, I do like Golden State a lot. I do like them to win this game outright. But I did take them at the +1.5. Just so you never know what happens in this league. You never know. Miami and Dallas, I stayed off of that game. Sacramento, OKC, I stayed off that game. And I took the Clippers heavy. Those are the plays. So I hope you got something out of it, y'all. I hope, if anything, if you're looking at your own capping and what you're doing, man, I hope that you're bringing success to yourself. Every day that goes by, just be more confident, man. Be more confident in what you do. Be more confident in how you approach, how you're capping, and be more confident in how you give out your plays, man. That's the only thing I can do. Only thing you can do with Steph is make him play defense. Yeah. He's a cheat code, man. He's an absolute cheat code. I mean, the Warriors are in the position they're in because of Steph. One player. One damn player. And it's just amazing what they're doing. All right, y'all. That is it for today. Shit. I'm glad y'all stuck around, man. I'm going to get back in the mix of doing these daily. And feel free, man. Drop me a like. You can find me at It's Derl. You should already know my my regular scheduled programming. I have my shows with Kev on Mondays and Thursdays. I'll be doing my Spaces daily where I'll be giving out the models numbers, but not really getting to the window on a lot of things. Only thing you do is stuff is play. Yep. S-Rog later, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for hanging out. Appreciate it. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter all the time at It's Derl. I also will be moving on to the NFL here shortly after this season. So once again, y'all, I hope you had a great time. I guess I'm going to end this and get on Twitter. See y'all then.